Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Alex Pereira has recently spoken about a potential fight with Jamahal Hill, which would avenge his coach Glover Teixeira. In a recent interview, Jamahal Hill has welcomed the idea and even calls for Pereira to move up to light heavyweight for the fight. Here's what Jamahal had to say. The only thing that interests me is like they tell me Pereira might come up. Come on in, my boy. Whenever he decides, oh yeah, I can go up there and mess him up. Come on in, my boy. I was there in New York and I watched UFC 281 live. All respect to Izzy, but I'll knock Pereira clean out. Jamahal also spoke on Pereira's size. Alex is a beast, bro. Dude is a giant. I said this in New York like January. We both did a signing together, me, him, Vicente Luque, and Aaron Blanchfield. I said that then, like, this dude is 185. I was like, this dude is massive. The dude is bigger than I am. And I'm like, okay, what do you guys make of Jamal's comments? And would you like to see Pereira move up to light heavyweight? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith paid tribute to Glover Teixeira following his retirement on the most recent edition of the Believe You Me podcast.
I was sad for Glover at the end because the arena was almost empty. Like they just got, I mean, I get it.
The car parks, bro. The car parks. They're a nightmare in Brazil.
They are. I mean, it was bad. It was a rough trip to get back to the hotel, but I just thought that maybe they would stay and at least give him his great send-off. Shogun got an incredible send-off. You know, they just cheered him all the way out, and I was hoping that Glover would get that, but I mean, I get it. Maybe they didn't understand he was going to retire right then and there, but they were leaving during Jamal's speech. So
yeah.
That part was sad.
Do you know what the best bit was, though? Again, for Glover Teixeira, forever the legend. I mean, his final words, some of the final words he ever said in the octagon was like, hey, listen, don't be throwing beer bottles. Don't disrespect him. He's the champion, and I'm going to walk him out here. That was just the classiest thing ever.
Belal Muhammad gave a shout out to the UFC official rankings. They placed him at number 4, which is one spot above Gilbert Burns, who comes in at number 5. Here's the clip.
Shout out to the rankers. I don't know who you are, but I'm glad you guys understood the situation. I just beat number 5, Wonderboy. I beat number 5, Luque, and I had to fight them back to back. So then I'm looking at number 4, Gilbert. Should be the next step, but I got ducked. So then I had to go downward to number 15-0, number 7, John Brady. Beat him because I was ducked. So I'm glad you guys aren't falling into this narrative. I'm glad the world, smart world, would understand that Sean Brady's just a white version of Gilbert without the fro. So why would I duck him? I appreciate you guys, rankers. I appreciate you guys. You guys are smart. Congratulations on beating number 14, Neil Magny, who would probably lose to Jake Paul. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Big John and Josh from the Weighing In podcast discuss where we may see Luke Rockhold fighting next following his release from the UFC.
They gave him his release. That means that he can go wherever he wants. He says he wants to fight. He says he's feeling good. Do you really think it's a good thing for him to continue to fight?
I think that there's options on the table that he can make a lot of money. I could see him, I'm being honest, and whether I think it's a good fight for him or not, I could see, because he lives in Costa Mesa, I could see the potential of him in a Jake Paul fight. I could see that fight. I could see him in a Logan Paul fight. I could see that fight happening. I would say he'd have a better chance of beating Logan than Jake, because Jake's taking this real serious. But I could see that fight happening. And also too, Logan and him are about the same size. Jake's a little bit smaller, but Jake's the better boxer. But give Luke some time. Give Luke time on working just strictly his boxing without having to worry about the wrestling, the kicking, all of those things. But his greatest attribute is
I was going to say, those are his best attributes, so don't worry about those.
I understand that. But he likes to box. He likes to work with Perillo. He likes to work with Camacho and the guys in his strength and conditioning. Those are all guys that have worked with Gennady Golovkin and other top boxers. So he gets into that realm of working and training with those guys. That's kind of where I think he's leading to.
In a recent interview, Chito Vera said he's unsure if a win over Corey Sandhagen on February 18th guarantees him a shot at the bantamweight title.
So is this the win, the victory, February 18th, that guarantees that title shot next? Because we're all waiting for Aljamain Sterling. We're approaching the end of January. We have no idea who's fighting for the title.
Well, nothing is guaranteed. You know, there's nothing said and done. You know how the UFC works. They can pull the trigger with anybody, anytime. So, to me, it's put the focus on this fight, beat the shit of Sandhagen, win. That's all that matters to me. Like, what's going on with the division, what the Starling prefers to do, no one can fucking control that. You know, the guy have injuries, he's too big. You know, who cares?
What do you think they're going to do? Do you even care? Do you think they're going to do an interim? Do you think Henry Cejudo's going to go in there? Do you think they're going to put Suga Sean O'Malley? Does it bother you whatsoever? Do you care? What do you think they're going to do, though?
It really doesn't bother me at all. You know, I'm focused on my life. I'm focused on training, get better, get ready. I have one thing ahead of me, and that's Corey Sandhagen. The rest, I don't give two about it.
Brandon Moreno compares himself to Alexander Pantoja in a recent interview and confirms that he will be next in line for a shot at the flyweight belt. Here's the clip.
I understand, man. I mean, the guy is just trying. It's always the same, right? Like, we are trying to do something for us, for our families, or like that. And maybe he's a little bit, I mean, desperate because his last fight was in July. He's excited. He beat me before, so maybe he thinks this fight will be very, very easy to win. The title is there, whatever. I understand that, man. Just was my moment.
Yeah.
like he's saying in the podcast, was my moment, not his moment.
Sure.
Not his moment.
And that will be the next fight, right? I mean, he was the backup, right? You are okay with that?
Man, if you ask me that, like, for me, I think he deserves it. I mean, for me, I think he is the next in line. Obviously, I say this in the other interviews. Nicolau is there, Manelke, even Albasi is Amir is doing an amazing job. But I think Pantoja is the next one for sure.
John Hackelman, longtime coach and cornerman of Glover Teixeira, has decided to retire from cornering fighters, following Teixeira's retirement at UFC 283. That's my last cornering. I'm never going to work a corner again. I just don't like to see guys get any kind of beatings or brain damage. I'm thankful they didn't stop it. I know this wouldn't have gone well with anyone. It would have made a lot of people really unhappy, and I don't want it to be about me. I would have thrown it in after the third. I would have been completely happy with the fight stopping there. I saw no reason for it to go on after that. I'm sure I've taken away a lot of potential wins. Imagine if Yuri Prohashka's corner threw in the towel in the middle of the 5th round against Teixeira. Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch discussed Francis Ngannou requesting health insurance for all fighters before his departure from the UFC.
The UFC offered to Ngannou 3 fights, $8 million for John Jones' fight, but Ngannou wanted the in-cage sponsors, health insurance, fighter advocates represented for all UFC. I'm surprised the UFC wasn't like, okay, you're the best fighter in the world. We'll let you have a couple sponsors.
Yeah, I don't.
But then do they start losing control of theirs? Because you see the UFC cage and UFC, there is sponsors on that
everywhere,
every inch.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you give him a little bit, and then you got to give this guy a little bit. And then Sugar Show's triple champ, and he wants to walk out with a. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Health insurance though, I thought the UFC had health insurance for when you're training for a training camp and you get hurt and you go there. Did you ever use the UFC's insurance or never?
I used the UFC's insurance like after a fight. If something hurts, I go get an MRI or an X-ray or something.
But during training and just in your everyday life, no insurance.
No.
Conor McGregor continues to tease his UFC return and has stated on multiple occasions that he'd be willing to fight at welterweight. Following these comments, Leon Edwards has spoken out and said he would be open to a fight with McGregor at 170. Yeah, 100%. If Conor comes back and gets a good win at welterweight, then it's a fight I'd more than welcome. It would be a massive fight for Europe, a massive fight for everyone. Let him come back, get a good win at welterweight, and then we'll talk from there. What do you guys think of Leon's comments? Do you think McGregor wins a fight at 170 against Edwards? Let us know in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.